The resolutions, the goals, the lapses that always seem to follow. One of the best ways to avoid a misstep in 2018 is to just set realistic goals for your health, yourself. And we want to help you get there because let's be honest, we all need the help too. With 4 days left in this work week, we're taking a look at 4 goals for 2018. 4 goals, 4 days. That's what we got for you. We are not talking about crazy diets, crazy exercise routines, just 4 realistic goals that will target your overall health. So, for the rest of this week, we're tackling sleep, money, your emotional health, and today, heart health. More than 28 million people in this country are living with heart disease. That's according to the CDC. Heart disease is also the #1 killer of both men and women. So it's important for us to tackle this one. Joining us, cardiologist and the CEO of Pacemate, Dr. Kevin Campbell. Doctor, good to have you with us. Happy New Year. Heart health is a great way to start things off. And it's, I would argue, probably more important than any diet or exercise regimen, actually, because they're all tied together.
You know, that's exactly right. As you said, heart disease is the #1 killer of both men and women in the U.S. today. And there's many things that we can do in the new year to really impact our chances of preventing terrible things to happen with our heart health during the coming year.
So we can often get a lot of conflicting information. There's a study one day that says don't eat steak. There's a study the next day that says, have your steak, don't worry about it, just drink lots of red wine. What are things that are good for me and what should I avoid?
You know, one of the first things you need to do is engage with your healthcare provider, your doctor, your nurse practitioner, whatever that may be. Make sure you understand what your individual risks for heart disease are. And then when you figure out what those risk factors are for you, modify those risk factors. Another thing that's really important is to embrace technology. We have the ability with iPhones and Cardia, LiveCore Apple Watches and Pacemate monitoring and things of that sort to monitor everything that happens with our heart. We can do our EKG. We can follow our weight. We can follow our blood sugars. We can control our diabetes and our blood pressure. If you engage with technology, you're going to be way ahead of the game when it comes to preventing heart disease.
And some of those things we have at our disposal, we don't even need to go out and buy them. They're already, as you point out, some of them on our phones. Give me your top 3 foods for heart health.
You know, I think it's really important to eat a balanced diet, lots of fruits and vegetables. However, I think it's also important to eat lean proteins as well. You can include red meat in your diet, but it just has to be a small portion and it can't be every day. You know, other things that I would think about is making sure that you also incorporate exercise. The CDC says that we must get 150 minutes of exercise per week, and you can start small. You can do 10 minutes a day and get to that number. It's important that we move and we eat well. And also, I think you need to think about sleep. Sleep is so important. We don't get enough. The average adult needs 7.5 to 8 hours, and there's studies out there that show when we don't sleep, we actually put ourselves at higher risk for diabetes, obesity, and ultimately heart disease.
It does make a big difference. We're going to have some better tips coming up later in the week on how to get your best sleep in 2018. Before we let you go, something else I found interesting. You said it's not just diet and exercise and sleep. You say enjoying the moment can really have a big impact on your heart.
That's exactly right. You know, as Americans, we're all working so hard and making sure that every minute counts when it comes to business and whatever our individual profession would be. Take a moment and breathe. 5 minutes of meditation and clearing your mind and deep breathing. Focusing on the successes. Celebrate the small things with your friends and family. This can really make a difference. And studies have been shown that depression and feelings of anxiety and feelings of dread can really impact your heart in a negative way. By focusing on the moment and living for the moment, celebrating what we accomplish in small bits, we can actually lower blood pressure, decreases our chance for obesity and obesity-related illness, and ultimately heart disease.
Dr. Campbell, I think that may be my favorite tip of all and one that I'm going to work hard on in 2018. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thanks for having me.